All right, hey everybody, welcome back to another video. And today we are going to venture into my thoughts about tomorrow's BYU game. And that's coming up right after this. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to Just Justin. I am Justin, and this video is just going to be my random thoughts about the BYU football game tomorrow, September 20th of 2025. That's a Saturday. And they're traveling over to the East Coast into North Carolina. And BYU will be playing the East Carolina Pirates. Okay, so BYU's had 2 games. East Carolina has 3 games. Okay, BYU had a bye week last week. Let's hope it went well. Some of the players were banged up, and hopefully everyone is healthy enough to play and start. But they did have a long journey ahead of them. We'll talk about that in a minute. As BYU travels to the East Coast to take on East Carolina, the series has a 2-1 lead in favor of East Carolina. And so BYU will travel there, and will they tie it up at 2-2? Or will East Carolina come out the victors and hold the 3-1 series over BYU? So, yes. So, BYU has played 2 games on the year so far. Portland State, that was a blowout, 69-0. They played Stanford. Stanford was a 27-3 victory for BYU. Now, East Carolina has played 3 games. I'm going to have to pull up my notes for this because I cannot remember anything anymore. The first week, East Carolina lost to North Dakota. That was a close game. I think it was the first game jitters, like what the heck is going on. The second week, they played Campbell. And they beat up on Campbell 56-3. And then the third week, they played Coastal Carolina. And they won 38-0. Okay? So we have East Carolina, the Pirates. They played 3 games, shut out 2 of their opponents, 156 and 138. And they lost to a pretty good North Dakota team. So, BYU has only shut out Portland State, and they beat Stanford, 27-3. So, what is going to happen with BYU this weekend? Okay, right now BYU is favored as a 6-point favorite. But there's been a lot of talk, not only online, the people behind their keyboards like, oh yeah, I can say whatever I want to say. And there's also been talk around my family, my sons and I, we've been talking. And a lot of people are upset with A-Rod, okay? Because he's running the same plays. He's running passing. He's not passing plays. He's running the ball too much. Yeah, a lot of people are upset with A-Rod, especially in my household. My sons are very vocal about it. One of them is really vocal. And they're saying that he is just running the ball too much, to the same side. He's doing screens. Get back to the basic of what made BYU BYU. Lavelle Edwards came in and started the passing revolution. Okay, they're like, why are we running the ball? Let's pass. And that's what BYU is famous for, is their passing ability. Yes, you have a freshman quarterback in there, and he can run the ball. We've got LJ Martin, and we've got a great running back crew. I mean, they are excellent. But why don't you throw some good passes in there? We've got some good receivers. And then if you roll out Bear for a pass, there's always an option for him to run. He is an excellent runner. Okay, if I should bring my son on here and let him talk about his feelings on A-Rod and how he needs to do better at play calling. I'm sure there's a lot of other people who are criticizing that, but let's just say that. These are my opinions, okay? Yeah, so BYU, they can go into East Carolina and they can have a victory. I mean, BYU's got the #1 defense right now. And the number 2, depending on who you talk to. Yes, they've only played 2 games, and they've only allowed the opponent 3 points, and their yardage is way down there. And so, yes, right now BYU's got the best defense right now. But of course, they've only played Stanford and Portland State. So East Carolina is going to be a good challenge for BYU. I think BYU can go in there, and I think BYU can pull off a good victory. It's going to be a good game. It comes on at 5:30 Mountain Standard Time, 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time, and 4:30 Pacific Time. All right? And if you live in Hawaii, it's probably like 2:30 your time. So, or 1:30. Yeah, so, and if you live overseas, you'll have to figure that out. Okay? So, yeah. So, BYU, they're going to play East Carolina Pirates tomorrow, September the 20th at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time in Greensville, North Carolina. All right. So, yeah, BYU has to travel there. They travel by air, you know. They take off from Provo Airport, and they fly. Okay. But how to get the equipment there? Now, that's a good one thing right here. So, BYU has this semi right here. And that semi is pretty big. Yeah, that's me in the driver's seat. I'm not driving it. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, they just had that at a show, tailgate party in Las Vegas a few years ago when BYU and Arizona kicked off the football season with the Las Vegas Classic. Yeah, they had it down there, and yeah, we were able to get in and sit in. I would rather go look at the trailer myself, but the trailer is just probably just a big empty space, but sometimes they can modify those up pretty good. But yeah, so they have a team of 2 drivers, and they drive back. One drives, one sleeps, one, you know, they alternate. But that's a pretty cool truck, and that's a lot of work for those truck drivers, because after the East Carolina game, they come back here to Provo, and then they go right back over to Colorado. That's what the game's being played next week on the 27th. We'll talk about that after the East Carolina, of course. Come back on Sunday for my review of the football game, the East Carolina and BYU football game. All right? I'm sure it'll be a good one. Let's go Cougars, and let's show them who is the boss, or let's show them what the Cougars are all about, and that's winning. All right, guys? Hope you guys enjoyed this. Give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notifications so you can know whenever I publish a video. And this is a no niche channel, so I don't have a particular thing I'm talking about. I'll talk about BYU sports. I've talked about my carnivore diet. I've talked about my health issues, my heart. And I'm just trying to do random things on this no niche channel, you know, just to show people who I am and my personality. And if you like good personalities, check me out. All right? Subscribe, because I've got multiple personalities. No, I'm just kidding. I just got one personality. Okay? But until the next video, I will see you later. Bye.